Hello Steelers, and welcome to this bench report hobby update. This is the first one from the new house and from the new war room. It is still in a state of disrepair at the moment, but I've managed to get the painting desk set up, and I've actually done a little bit of painting as well this week, which I'm really surprised at. What I have done though is I'm not going to show you the war room in this video, because what I've done is I've done a bit of a work in progress video for some for setting up a new war room, because I bumped into Charles Roundtree at Vapnatak the other week, and he mentioned that it would be an interesting thing for for him to see the progress of me and as I set up a space for wargaming basically in the new house. So I thought I'll do that. I've recorded the first part of it. I'll be recording another part of it later on as I've got more things set up, and that's going to be set to come out in a couple of weeks. So just keep an eye out for that. So I'm not going to talk too much more about the war room itself. So it's going to be a little bit anachronistic because I'm recording this after I've recorded that, but that's going to come out after this has come out, if that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, I basically got set up here. I've managed to get most of my paint, so I had a massive clear out of well as other bits and pieces, just because I thought, there's a lot of stuff I've had over the years that I'm just not using, stuff I'm never going to use, ideas of projects that I thought, right, I'm going to do this, and it's just never happened. So I kind of got rid of, I've been pretty brutal with a lot of stuff, but obviously I've kept my paints and most of the basic other stuff. I'm probably going to be going through some of these as well at some point and just getting rid of bits and pieces of these as time goes on as well. We'll just have to remain to see what happens with that. However, I did mention I have actually been painting a couple of things as well this week. I managed to go back to a couple of buildings that I had before we left the old house, because obviously I've been doing a lot of DIY and things as well, so it's been a little bit difficult to actually get stuff done in between. But I managed, as I said, to get a table set up, so I managed to do some painting. The first one was this Southeast Asian house. This was from Timecast Models. Lovely little piece this. I just added some sabotage fences to it and a little bit more, some embossed card for the base. But this has turned out really nice. This was meant to be used in Vietnam. That's a bit of a project that's been put on the back burner. I'll tell you why in a second. But it could also be used in Malaya as well quite easily. It's just a typical Southeast Asian house. It doesn't really have, it's pretty timeless period really. It's just a tin house. So it'd work pretty well as a shop in Malaya. The other thing as well I painted, I finished off from Leaf. Sorry Leaf, I've forgotten your surname. He did a Kickstarter a while back and he sent me a load of buildings to promote that, and I did a video on those, so go and check those out. It's elsewhere in the reviews section, in the reviews playlist on this channel. And this was one of the Normandy houses, again with some sabotage walls on this one, two different roofs on it. It's one of the famous houses from Normandy. I think there's an M7 priest stood driving past it in a famous photograph, but this is a really, really nice model, and it had been on the painting table literally for months at this point. I just sat down and just went bang, finish it off, do it, we're done, and that is done. So two different roofs on that, and I think I'm quite chuffed with that really. In the post, I've had quite a few things actually, because I'm in the middle of sorting things out and trying to get stuff rearranged. What I've done is I decided I wanted to get rid of these old things. I'll show you this. This is my old paint holder. My wife bought me this actually, so it's quite sentimental, but I think its time has finally come. I've used it for years and it has been really, really, really useful, and it was a great present. However, I went online, had a look around, and I found that war bases were doing them like this in a state. These are about £7 on the war bases website, and I sent off for it, got a couple of them. I got 3 of them, and they hold I think about 45 Vallejo paints, or even Army Painter paints, and they are really small. You can see how thin they are, so that's just going to sit against the wall, and it's going to be a lot smaller than the other larger ones. Let me just show you the difference in the size of the footprint of those two. So I'm going to have a lot more desk space taken back when I put these. I've got 3 of them, put these together, and then basically have the paints in them. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could hold them up that way if you wanted, and then you could get all the paint, the sediment into the top of the paint, but I'm just happy with them as they are like that. So that's something I'm just working on, like I said, just to organise that back. I'm going to talk about that later anyway, properly in the second part of my work in progress video, because that's part of the whole setup, isn't it, really? The other major thing that came, and you probably saw this if you've been checking out the channel on the community tab, I put up a photo of it the other day. Before Christmas, I had a chat with Kieran over at Warlord Games, and they were interested in sending out some stuff for the channel. So we had a bit of a back and forth, talked about what would fit with my channel, what I was particularly interested in, and you know, basically it's a bit of promotion for them, but also it creates some content for me as well. And we settled on some bolt action stuff, because I've never really played bolt action. I have an idea of how bolt action plays, but I've never really played it, so I kind of wanted to explore it a little bit. So they sent out a Gentleman's War box set. I've done a box opening for that. That is coming soon. But the other big thing, the other huge thing that they sent through to me was this, the Waterloo campaign starter set. But not only was it this one, Wellingtons, but also Napoleons as well. So these huge box sets. These are just, I mean, they're just crazy. The amount of stuff that you get in these. I've done box openings for these as well, so that's going to be coming soon. And I'm going to be painting these. I'm really chuffed to have got these, because when I went over to Waterloo recently with my pals Dave and Mark had got some of these painted up, and I was actually quite impressed by them, and we were talking about using them for various of the rules as well as black powder and things. So I kind of had a little bit of an eye on them, and I was thinking about maybe getting them at some point in the future. So it's really nice of Warlord to turn around and say, you know, have some for free. So pretty much, you know, so I'm going to snap up any offer like that, of course. So I've already started actually painting them. I've only just started doing the testers for these British. I was going to do them in speed paints, but I don't know if I will. I'll probably just do them in normal block colours and then washes and highlights. And what I might do at some point, once I've kind of got a technique for them, because there's so many of these things to do, is to do a tutorial or something like that on that, I think. But as I say, these are going to be box openings anyway at some point in the future. They will be it's coming out in the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that, just to give you an idea of what's in these things as well. And I tell you, there is a lot of stuff. So I've been sat reading Black Powder for the last couple of nights as well, just to try get my head around the rules. Not that they're particularly difficult to learn, but I want to try it out, see what it's like. Two Fat Lardies, or Reichswitz Press, also put out GDA2, General d'Armée 2 by Dave Brown, and I've kind of been waiting for this as well. This will be, I think, released in the next few weeks properly, but I went in on the pre-order bundle, so I decided to go in on that, and I've bought myself a copy of that as well. So if Black Powder doesn't turn out for me, I'm sure GDA might be interesting for me as well. So what I'm going to do is once that turns up, I'll probably do a review of it, but again, that's something in the future. So there's quite a lot going on, even though there doesn't feel like there's a lot going on at the moment. I'm just kind of trying to paint bits and pieces here and there and just see what I can fit in around other work. And as I say, the war room itself, although this part might look as though it's pretty organised, it honestly isn't. Behind you it's just chaos. I've still got a few boxes to empty. I'm going to try to find where these things are going to go as well. The problem is as well, we need the house decorating as well, so I can't really put things like shelves up or extra storage. So I'm kind of a little bit living in between places at the moment, in between worlds almost. However, I am also at the moment selling some stuff on eBay as well. I'll put a link to my eBay shop in the description down below. Go and check it out. I'm just selling like some job lots of bits and pieces that it's like the stuff I said I know I'm not going to paint any time in the future. Gaming wise, this week I was down at the club and I basically watched Steve and Dex play Chain of Command. Neither of them had turned up with the rules, so I was able to get a PDF copy of it onto my phone, and it was one of the scenarios from the Martlet, Operation Martlet pint-sized campaign, which they've been playing anyway, but the regular opponent Terry didn't turn up. So I sat in on the edge and I was kind of giving Steve a little bit of I hope was good tactical advice. He was playing the Germans, really under a lot of stress, and it went on for ages. A really long game, and it was great though, really good. But yeah, it was good fun, and I think I certainly enjoyed watching it with the lads, and they seemed to enjoy playing it at least. I mean, I wasn't really umpiring. I was kind of like rules monitor with a bit of advice as well. But yeah, it was good fun, good to watch. So that's really all my games that I've been playing as well recently. It's just been down at the club. I've not really been up to too much else, so it's been pretty quiet, like I say, just because of the move and all that kind of stuff as well. But I will try to make these once again as regular as I can. It really depends on how much I do in the week. I'm assuming, you know, once we've moved in well, I've moved in, but I mean once I've set up properly, I'll be able to do a lot more and talk a lot more about things that I'm painting and stuff. But I'm still going to chip away at bits and pieces. Still got quite a lot of stuff in the to-do pile, and especially now that I've got these bloody things to add to it as well. And I'll wrap up there. I'll say thank you for watching as always. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because it's all very useful. It all really helps my algorithms on YouTube and people connecting with this channel and with seeing various things that I get up to. And I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.